Coming up, the latest from AERO Friedrichshafen in Germany. It's the global and kind of quirky Air Expo at which you never know what you're going to see next.
Seeing double, we take a closer look at the XP-82 Twin Mustang.
And then there were none, remembering the final Doolittle Raider. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment.
Thank you for being here to support Angel Flight West and the 5th Annual Endeavor Awards.
The real heroes in this equation are the Angel Flight passengers.
Wow. See, I told you you'd love this.
This is AOPA Live This Week with Tom Haynes and Melissa Rudinger.
No sooner are we back from Sun and Fun in Florida than we're off to Germany at AERO Friedrichshafen. Well, at least some of us.
AERO is Europe's largest general aviation event and is the showcase for all things GA on the continent. This year is another record-setting event with more than 750 exhibitors from 40 countries. We have a small team there, led by AOPA pilot editor-at-large Tom Horn. Hey Tom, what's new at AERO this year?
Hey Tom and Melissa, willkommen an Friedrichshafen, where electric is very much the buzz, although this year, compared to last, there were fewer actual electric aircraft on display. But German industrial giant Siemens had a massive display showing their full range of electric motors for aircraft and lighted panels of all the electric aircraft in development with Siemens motors, from Daimler's hybrid to Airbus's city bus. Siemens has bet big on electric flight.
We have seen incredible progress. First of all, in the last 18 months, the electric vertical takeoff and landing projects came out of the stealth mode, many of them. It becomes reality. It becomes clear that the design space is opening widely due to the fact that with hybrid electric propulsion, we can separate the power generation from the thrust generation, and thus being able to build completely new aircraft. So it's real, and it is a vast progress.
Siemens sees the future in hybrid technology. That is, a combustion engine driving an electric generator to power the motor and recharge the batteries.
And we are developing serial hybrid electric propulsion systems, which keep the individual elements, the generator, the batteries, the power electronics, apart, separate from each other. And if, which we do not see yet, but if somebody would invent a battery with, let's say, double the capacity, then with a serial hybrid system we could easily reduce the installed generating power and have more energy stored in the battery.
All electric aircraft are a niche market in Siemens' opinion. But somebody who is very happy to play in that niche is George Bai.
This is exciting for us all, I think. You know, the world's first certified flight training airplane. 2-year time frame, still on track. Just finished a meeting with Siemens, and just finished a meeting before that with Garmin. 2 great strategic partners making this first electric, ruggedized flight training airplane real.
The E-Flyer is on a 2-year countdown to certification. Here at AERO, Bai announced they have sold 70 aircraft to 2 training companies in Norway. But we did see several new conventionally powered aircraft here, including Tecnam. This Italian company has a confusing array of models, falling under a multitude of certifications, but now they have a new one for the U.S. market.
So this is an aircraft that we can put, 2 people that like cheeseburgers like I do from the U.S., we can put 2 of us in there, we can put 4 hours of fuel in this thing, and we're going to burn 4 gallons an hour, and we're going to be able to do full IFR training and go into IMC. So I want to stress this is not an LSA. This is a standard category for the U.S. So it's the P2002 Mark II IFR.
A nicely IFR-equipped P2002 Mark II will run you about $245,000. Across the aisle from Tecnam, Diamond Aircraft, back at AERO again. They missed it last year. The big news here is that the DA-50 is going to be powered by a Continental CD300 diesel engine. This engine develops 300 horsepower while sipping Jet A at 9 gallons an hour. And the newly renamed Continental, they're now called Continental Aerospace Technologies, is taking direct aim at Lycoming, selling the Prime engine as a drop-in replacement. And Flight Design also has new aircraft. The new F2 will be fully certificated in the U.S.
It's a brand new design using a modular airframe concept. We'll be making a 912IS powered light sport aircraft version, a certified CS23 certified version, F2E Siemens electric powered version of the aircraft, and quite soon, and very interestingly for AOPA owners, a 4-seat version powered by the 915IS.
Those are Rotax engines, by the way.
It's got a lot bigger cabin, G3X Touch Garmin avionics. It's got a single lever power control. Pull it all the way back and you get brakes. It's got AmSafe airbags up here. It's got parachute. It's got inertia wheel seat harnesses. And the first deliveries are going to be in August of 2019 at Oshkosh.
That's the LSA model. The Part 23 IFR certified F2 will come later in the year, about $220,000. Both the new Flight Design and Tecnam models had their origins as light sport aircraft. But the rules here in Europe give them more latitude to be innovative and make some improvements. Warren Morningstar has taken a look at a few.
Yeah, I sure do, Tom. Like this Mustang right behind me. Pretty cool, isn't it? You like sleek and retractable? Well, lots of models to choose from, all below the 600 kilogram weight limit. Now that's about 1,300 pounds, the LSA maximum weight in the US. Or maybe you're nostalgic for the Mooney Mite. This SD1 Mini Sport might not be as slick, but it's an airplane you can wear. Speaking of what's old is new again, the Flying Wing is back. This Horton Flying Wing has actually flown with a Rotax engine, not yet certificated in any category, but it's part of Germany-based Lift Air, which also owns Flight Design and Rotorvox. Or maybe you'd like a replica of the Stumpy biplane. Rotax power, of course. But the replica of all replicas is this scale Mustang, available as an LSA or an experimental. Now, the company will help you build it, and you have the option of installing a turbocharged Chevy V8. That's 600 horsepower. That's a screamer. But Sylvia Horn has her eye on something else. Sylvia?
Well, Warren, in my mind, this is the best airplane of the show. It is not a restoration, it is a total reconstruction. Everything has been painstakingly hand-tooled, and therefore it comes with a price tag of $2.5 million.
This is the first all-metal commercial airplane in the world, and so we rebuilt it. So it's like new, and we really like to fly the F-13. It's a gorgeous airplane. This aircraft aluminum is not easy to work with, so of course we had to relearn. And it's corrugated aluminum. It's not that easy at all.
And it flies. And the best thing is, it has an open cockpit. You can feel the wind on your face, and this is what flying is all about. And I really want one. Tom, can I have one, please?
I don't know, Sylvia. That'd take both the 401ks, the house, the cars, everything. I'm thinking this is more our speed. Besides, there's no price tag on it yet. Tom and Melissa, back to you.
So as always, big news out of there. And Sylvia, I don't know whether you're going to get one next year or not. You have to talk to Tom and really lean on him for that one, I think, with the open cockpit and all, maybe. But
we'll lean on him too.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's amazing. So there we are in the same show talking about eVTOLs and electric propulsion. At the same time, we're talking about, you know, a Junkers recreation of a really old airplane, and that's what makes that show so much fun.
Yes, anybody that's been there knows that there's so much innovation, and everything old is new again.
Exactly.
And speaking of aircraft of the future, a group of journalists just got a glimpse of what it's like to fly an autonomous air taxi. The EHang 216 took several journalists up on test flights at a stadium in Austria. The 216 can carry 2 passengers and travel at speeds of up to 90 miles an hour with a range of 20 minutes. The company says they plan to have the aircraft in production by 2020.
And another company working on air taxis is Terrafugia. They designed the transition flying car, and the company announced they have a new CEO. Xiao Jing is now leading the company. Former CEO and co-founder Carl Dietrich made the decision to move from Terrafugia. The Boston area company was created in 2006 to bring a practical flying car to market. Terrafugia has not delivered the first transition yet, although the company has been promising a 2019 delivery for months.
Heber City, the most complained about airport in our fight against egregious FBO fees, recently voted to eliminate some progress they had made. They had passed resolutions to promote competition, but last week rolled them back. AOPA sent a letter ahead of the vote urging the City Council not to pass the 2 resolutions and undo progress. But they did it anyway, and in a letter from the airport manager, officials acknowledged problems and asked us to be patient. If you'd like to submit complaints about Heber Valley Airport or any other location, or to learn more about AOPA's work on the issue, go to aopa.org/FBO fees.
And some sad news this week. The final Doolittle Raider has passed. Lieutenant Colonel Richard Cole, or Dick as most knew him, spent his time after the war protecting the legacy of the Raiders and inspiring young people.
We were part of the big team that took care of the enemy, and that's the way we'd like to be remembered. The Raiders don't like to be singled out.
But Dick Cole didn't have a choice. 52 officers, 28 enlisted, and he was the last living Doolittle Raider. Their legacy is incredible. 16 B-25s launched off the USS Hornet to bomb Tokyo. In a stroke of happenstance, Cole winding up as the co-pilot on the lead airplane, with Jimmy Doolittle himself in the left seat.
I was crewed up with another pilot, and he became ill. And the day he became ill, Colonel Doolittle came in and took his seat. So that's the way it was. I was a very lucky guy.
His luck didn't end there. The way the airplanes took off was incredible.
The deck officer would start the airplanes down at a certain point, so it came up, the carrier would drop down and kind of throw the airplane up in the air.
The target, Tokyo. Their mission was a major success on the morale front, and America, still reeling from Pearl Harbor, needing something to hold on to. The heroic tale of these brave men was just the ticket. That victory continues to be celebrated. Each year, the remaining Raiders gathered, such as here for the 70th anniversary in 2012.
Once again, we meet in this memorial park to reflect on the mission we took part in 70 years ago today.
They toasted to Jimmy Doolittle and the fallen Raiders, until one by one their toasting goblets were turned over as they passed. At 103 years of age, Lieutenant Colonel Richard E. Coles is the last to turn over. The last Raider, the end of an era of unprecedented heroics.
Were you ever scared?
No, not really. I think you waste time thinking about bad things when you can think about good ones.
Godspeed. Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
Truly end of an era.
It is. That's some remarkable footage, some remarkable men.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Dick Cole was not only was he a remarkable war hero and did so much after the war, but he was a remarkable guy for 103 of the things he was doing. I remember when he was 101, he was supposed to come here for an event, and he canceled his daughter actually canceled at the last minute because he'd been out mowing the day before, mowing multiple acres. And she said he was just too tired and just couldn't make it out for this event. And so I hope I'm still on the tractor mowing grass at 101, I got to tell you. He made it to 103.
Remarkable.
It's incredible. Well, coming up after the break, the Frederick Fly-In happens in less than a month. Find out what's in store.
And the grand champion from Sun and Fun, the Twin Mustang. We'll be right back.
There are many important things to consider before purchasing an aircraft. Let the experts at Aerospace Reports help guide you through the process. We combine expert knowledge with our long-standing commitment to personalized customer service to perfect your transaction. Learn more at aerospacereports.com.
Welcome back. So, what happens if you don't equip with ADS-B out before the deadline and then you need to fly in rule airspace? You're not totally out of luck, but it won't be easy. The FAA is setting up a website that you'll have to use to apply for a waiver. You have to do it on the website. ATC can't clear you into the airspace. You also have to do it at least an hour before your flight.
We anticipate they're going to be tracking usage of that website. It's intended for limited use, to get equipment, to get an aircraft out or into rule airspace. And if you use it excessively, you'll find that it becomes unavailable.
So as Mike knows, actually myself and Rune Duke, who's our senior director for air traffic, we've been negotiating with FAA on this, and this is not a get out of jail free card. This isn't in lieu of equipping in time. But the FAA has to be realistic, and there are valid reasons, whether it's a maintenance issue or getting an install or whatever the reason might be that you need to access the airspace after 2020. So this is intended to help with those valid cases.
Right, but it's not going to be easy, and you can't use it consistently.
You can't use it in lieu of equipping, no.
Right.
They're going to be tracking those own numbers.
Okay, good to know. Hey, it's just a month away. That's our 80th anniversary fly-in to Frederick, Maryland. And there will be a ton to see and do, including a short takeoff and landing demonstration and a D-Day reenactment parachute drop from a group of C-47s. There'll also be a chance to sharpen your skills or learn something new. We'll have nearly 40 topics to choose from at our free seminars taking place all day Friday and Saturday. We'll also offer 3-hour ground school workshops, and this year we have some new topics.
We're going to do an introduction to formation flying, which will be ground school, your first 3 hours towards formation flying, and also a ground school 3 hours on aerobatics, upset recovery type flying. So really great opportunities this year to go deeper with our workshops.
A tuition fee of $99 in advance or $120 at the door gives you access to any of the ground school workshops. Seminars are free. Find out more about them at our fly-in website.
And even as we look forward to the Frederick fly-in, we can't help but look back at Sun and Fun last week. The Blue Angels, along with all the other attractions, drew huge crowds. Sun and Fun says last week they had an unheard of record attendance, and we know we had fun seeing many of you in person. And one of the great things about Sun and Fun is the chance to scope out all the new gear. And one of the things that grabbed a lot of attention are these new Bose sunglasses. They have Bluetooth connected speakers built in so that you can listen to your tunes and take calls while you're walking around at an air show like Sun and Fun or Oshkosh.
One of the greatest feedbacks that we've had so far at the show is that you're able to walk around, have sun protection from that hot Florida sun, and still able to listen to the announcements about the awesome air shows that we have here and hear exactly what aircraft is flying over you and experience it in full.
The Bose frames come in 2 styles. Right now they come with 1 lens option, which is not polarized. More lens options will be coming soon. They cost $199.
And if you get tired of walking around the airport, Spencer Aircraft has several electric bikes to choose from to shuttle you around. This Jupiter bike easily folds up to fit in the back of an airplane.
It's very lightweight. This one goes 10 miles on a charge, 15 miles an hour, and it takes 1 to 2 hours to charge. It's only 21 pounds in weight. It actually folds up to this right here. Wow. Very simple to fold down on this one. This just breaks up here, these fold down here, and then the wheels just turn in.
Spencer Aircraft has several other models of electric bikes ranging in price from $800 to $1,000.
It's the only one flying, and it may have you seeing double. The XP-82 Twin Mustang is the rarest of all warbirds right now, and it drew the most attention at Sun and Fun. AOPA Live's Paul Harrop takes you up close to this towering twin.
It's a restoration of my lifetime.
Tom Riley is a master, and the XP-82 Twin Mustang is his masterpiece, which for him is kind of odd.
I'm a bomber guy. I've always loved bombers, B-17, B-25s, A-26s, B-24. That's I've flown all of them.
But more than a decade ago, he set out to restore this airplane, and that's kind of fitting. Twin Mustangs were made to escort the bombers he loves, but P-51Ds were only making it home with 5 gallons of fuel after escorting B-29s over the Pacific.
We lost a lot of Mustangs, lost a lot of pilots that went in the water because they did not have the range to get back. With one bullet hole or one shrapnel hole in the water, anything like that, you'd lose the airplane, lose the pilot.
So the Twin Mustang was born.
Now, while it's called a Twin Mustang, it's kind of a misnomer. It only shares a very few parts with the P-51, but it's 1.5 times the weight and has 2.5 times the horsepower than a P-51D. This thing can cook it.
300 miles per hour all day long out of 2 Merlins. As if they weren't a big enough challenge, you can't just call aircraft spruce for parts on this thing.
We have paid millions of dollars to machinists. We found the original plans, by the way, and we bought them from a fellow in California. He had them. They were told to bring them out back and burn them in a 55-gallon drum. The Mustang, the B-25, and the P-82 in 1953 when they all went out of production. He put them in the trunk of his 53 Chevrolet.
And thank goodness that knowledge stayed around for Riley's team to use. As for the future, well, how'd you like to have one of your own?
It's not for sale, but somebody might want it more than I want it.
At Sun and Fun, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
If you didn't make it to Sun and Fun, never fear, the Twin Mustang is expected at AirVenture in Oshkosh this year. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it was really something to see. I got to
Yes.
see, very, very inspirational to see what they did to that airplane to make it fly, and it's such a rare bird, literally.
It is. It's very
so
special.
Pretty neat. Well, folks who dropped by our campus at Sun and Fun had the chance to make their mark on flying, and they left some truly inspiring words. Take a look. Pretty inspirational messages.
They are. I love that concept. I think we rolled it out last year with that, and it's really engaging, and it's a great way for us to interact with our members and see how diverse the membership is.
Yeah, they really are. Amazing what you can do with a piece of fabric and some Sharpies.
Exactly.
Well, that's it for our show this week. Thanks for being a part of it.
A penny for your thoughts. Shoot us a note anytime. The address is AOPA Live at AOPA.org. See you next week.